Hello and welcome. I'm your host, William Liu. This is the Raptors Ration Podcast presented by Betway for all your sports betting activities. Hit the QR code that you see here on the screen or the link that you see on the description to the podcast. Huge thanks to everyone watching live. I want to give people a little bit of time to trickle in because I know we always get a great audience, especially after wins, especially after the Raptors play a pretty complete game here, man. One of their best efforts of the season. They're building, they're getting stronger, they're getting healthier, and they're getting some great performances. Raptors win tonight 122 to 111. Second straight win over Indiana, who just quite frankly, you can still see that there's still talent there. That there is still obviously that same team that went to the conference finals last year. They still have that ability, right? When they made that push in the second half, it was still pretty concerning to see the Raptors unable to sort of stop that run, except the Raptors did ultimately stop that run, right? The Raptors were up by 24, I believe, in the first half, played a really, really strong first half. And then you knew the Pacers would come out and respond eventually. It took until midway through the third quarter for the Pacers to make their run. They finished the third quarter on a 22-7 run. They get it all the way down to 2 points. But the Raptors, unlike earlier in the season, when they show growth, then this is what growth looks like. When they get into a close game in the fourth quarter, they actually come through and close it out, which was really, really nice. Some huge plays from the leaders of this team. Scottie Barnes sets a career high, but most importantly, made some huge plays down the stretch. Barrett making a big contribution stretch as well. Missed out on his 30 ball once again by 1 point here tonight. Jakob making some huge throws. He's been a huge leader for this team. And then even Davion Mitchell in his own way, even though he's obviously a supporting piece to what the Raptors are building here. But once again, Darko Rajakovic trusting in his point guard, who has obviously gone to the bench with Scottie coming back to the lineup. And yet you still see him out there in crunch time, making some huge plays, a big finger roll down the stretch. And then on the ensuing possession, fighting through a screen, trying to chase Tyrese Halliburton and getting clipped and getting the foul call to get the turnover for the Toronto Raptors, who win tonight 122 to 111. Just a really awesome performance in general. A really good feel-good win here by Toronto, who fully deserved this win. It would have been a real letdown. And I know we've been talking about ethical tanks and all that kind of stuff. I still honestly, in my heart of heart, I think that's a cope. I think that's a cope more than anything else. It's coping for the fact that the Raptors lost a bunch of close games that they should have won to start the season. It's okay to be, acknowledging of the fact that, like, this is a team that has fought hard all season. When you heard that stat on the broadcast, that the Raptors have held a lead in the fourth quarter in 8 of the last 10 games, that's a great stat. That's such a healthy stat. And of course, this team definitely has, relinquished too many leads down the stretch, but that's why it's been refreshing to watch them close it out against Miami, close it out here against Indiana. You know what I mean? Like, this is a team that has fought hard all season. They play the right way. They're getting healthier, and you're seeing that identity go through this group who, whatever. They're climbing up in the standings and picking up a couple more wins. That's natural. Here's the thing about a developmental season. Players improve and they develop. And that's a huge credit to Darko Rajakovic. That's a huge credit to the players themselves, to the rest of the coaching staff who's been working really hard with these guys. Raptors damn near have one coach for every player, it feels like, on that assistant staff. But, you're seeing those steps forward made by these guys. And then you're starting to see a bit of an identity start to forge too, right? Because right now you have Scottie Barnes and Barrett, and they are leading this team. They are leading this team. And you see the combined effort tonight. 29 for Barrett, 9 points, 5 rebounds, or 29 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists, 9 of 16 shooting, knocks down 2 threes, goes 9 of 12 from the foul line. I like seeing that number for both in terms of the attempts and also him making 9 of those. And then Scottie Barnes sets a new career high with 35, 6 rebounds, 9 assists. We're gonna get that assist. We're gonna get that career high a little bit higher for Scottie just over the course of this season for sure. But the two of those guys combining for half of your team scoring and the majority of the team's playmaking, that's exactly what you want to see. And both those guys taking turns leading the second unit. I thought Scottie did a better job of that than today. But ultimately, you have all of a sudden that ability to sort of play 48 minutes when you have two main drivers of the offense like that. And then the other guys can settle in around them. Jakob starting to show more chemistry with Scottie Barnes. This is probably the best that they looked tonight in a two-man game. A couple episodes ago, me and Samson Folk over Raps Republic, we talked about how, Scottie and Jakob, they're not the most natural pairing on the offensive end because teams have opted, if they can, to switch a lot of those pick and rolls. Well, guess what? The Pacers not a big switching type of team, and so the Raptors were able to get a lot of good looks, but they also, did some things together today to sort of create more of those opportunities. We'll talk about that in a second, but Jakob's fit in perfectly all season, and then you're seeing Ochai Agbaji making a huge corner three when the Raptors, when it got down to 2 points, the Raptors drove the lane, collapsed the defense, and kicked it out to Ochai, and he was confident. And what I like more about that too is a couple plays before that, Ochai was open on the wing. Scottie was operating on a pick and roll. Scottie ends up getting called for a double dribble on that. But, Ochai was open in the near corner, and he was actually visibly frustrated not to get the ball. That tells me how aggressive Ochai is looking to play. He's demanding that when he's open, that he's going to get the pass, because guess what? Ochai's also been one of the most accurate corner shooters this entire season. So he should demand, and she should be upset when he doesn't get the ball in those moments. But the fact that he wants to get it, the fact that he wants to be aggressive, that's night and day compared to what happened with the Raptors when he first came in last season. And honestly, last season, the more you look at it, the more you think about just how much of a shit show it was, right? You see the fact that they had 31 players, 33 players, I think maybe the final total was how many different players took the court wearing a Raptors jersey last year. I mean, obviously big trades were made over the course of the year. Pascal, obviously being on the other side, it's super weird seeing him with Indiana. It just doesn't fully look right. It doesn't look right in terms of how they operate either with him. Tonight, he had a miserable night, especially with the way Scottie was going right at him, including on a signature play where Scottie drove through all 5 members of the Pacers and hit one of these, flexes, basically flexing right on Pascal, which I thought was a really, really cute moment in this game, but also a very emphatic moment in this game, because you know what? Last season was last season. They went through a ton of just like whatever. And what they said at the start of the year, we're going to look at this as year one of the rebuild, and look at the players that they're building up here. I'm so impressed. I'm so proud of the effort that they put together tonight. And yeah, I mean, the rest of the role players can just come in. The bench guys, I thought the bench gave them a nice little lift in the first half when the Raptors blew it wide open and established a 20-plus point advantage. A lot of the credit goes to guys like Jamal Shed, who knocked down 2 huge threes, to create that separation. Jonathan Mobo fighting, for offensive rebounds and getting second chances. And just in general, you look at the fact that the Pacers last year, what we talked so much about, we looked so much at the Pacers roster because we knew that the Pacers are one of the few teams interested in trading for Pascal. And so what kind of package you can get back from them? One of the pieces for me I really wanted from the Pacers was one of their top picks last year, 8th overall pick, Jarris Walker. Big 6'9" forward, athletic, can make a lot of plays, can I guess do a little playmaking, but play some small ball center for you, all that kind of stuff. I mean, that's what Jonathan Mobo is right now, who the Raptors got with the 31st pick. And yeah, you know what? Honestly, I think Mobo is actually older than Walker is, even though he came in the following year in the draft. But in terms of who outplayed who, I mean, even that individual matchup. And I know no one's coming into this podcast clicking on to the live matchup and expecting to hear about, how the matchup between Jonathan Mobo and Jarris Walker went. But even those guys winning their individual matchups, I thought that was absolutely massive for the Raptors here tonight. Mobo stripping, I think he stripped Walker 3 times tonight, but especially twice just straight stripping him on the perimeter and sparking fast breaks to again build up this Toronto Raptors lead. It's just been like a really, really good game all around. And of course, you know what? Just because I'm going to give a special shout out to all the people who think that I'm just always going at Darko and that there's always an issue here. I want to give a huge shout out to Darko, because you know what he did tonight? He did a really great job managing his rotation and making sure that he got enough rest for some of his guys, even though it was
Yo, what up, chat? Hang tight, man. We're gonna work on getting Will back. I feel like we made too many of these internet jokes, um, and joked about him being on Namek so much that he actually went off planet. Oh,
Yo,
there he is.
this honestly, Rogers internet trash, like genuinely trash. I can't. You know what? I'm so mad at this because I was in such a good flow. I was in such a good mood, and all of a sudden, the internet, which is quite expensive, I must add, is just actually terrible. And I'm now officially tethering off my phone. So if for the rest of the episode, whatever it is, but literally, I'm a Bell customer starting Thursday. I'm not even
Yo,
kidding.
yo,
By the
W's in
time
the
I'm
chat.
talking about
Back to
Raptors
Will.
Thunder, man. Yeah, okay, there you go. Thanks, Alex, for taking care of this. Seriously, it was terrible. And I appreciate everyone for sticking through this. Yeah, I mean, look, a lot of the guys were able to sort of play their part here tonight and play a huge role in this win. But let's be honest, man, the starting headline for this game will be Scottie Barnes, who deserves all of the love here because of the fact that, he played such a great two-way effort for the career high 35.6 rebounds, 9 assists on 13 of 20 shooting, knocks down 3 of 7 from three. Just really, really good job overall of leading the team. And of course, like when you look at a game like this, the difference between the Raptors and the Pacers tonight was the level at which their starters and their best player in the intensity to which they led with. Halliburton, first half, really, really, really just not cutting it. I thought he was playing kind of the way he's been playing all season, just a little bit too weak on a lot of these moments where he's flinging up shots, he's barely playing defense. It just didn't look like he wanted to lead the group. And then on the other end, on Scottie's end, there was like 3 or 4 plays where he, came off a screen or even on one-on-one, took it from the perimeter, tucked it, drove past like 2 other guys, and then bumped somebody out the rim and finished strong and got and ones and got easy shots for his teammates. And that intensity. And of course, the other end too is the defensive effort that he gave tonight to frustrate Pascal Siakam, who barely gets the ball from his teammates, but also I thought Scottie did a great job of just pressing up and denying the fact that Pascal wanted to post up. Pascal wants to post up. Scottie bumping him the entire time, fighting with him all game long. And it got to the point where in the fourth quarter, in a key moment, Pascal ends up taking a technical foul when the Pacers are still within a 6-point game with 2 minutes left, and Pascal ends up taking a technical foul because of the fact that he's been frustrated all night. That was Scottie's doing the whole night in terms of taking on that personal responsibility to lock down his former longtime teammate as well. So, I mean, I just thought number one was Scottie, like, found a really, really good balance between the ability to go downhill and get to the basket, and also the ability to sort of play make from the top of the floor. You saw him confidently shoot some transition threes. Once again, that's a shot that he really likes. And of course, there's going to be some moments where it's a little bit too aggressive, a little not too aggressive. We could talk about the 3-point shots. Really, out of the 7, only one I didn't like, which was one where it was a 3-on-2 fast break and Miles Turner was giving him a lot of space. Like he was like way deep in the paint. And I thought Scottie could have driven it, occupied the shot blocker, and then dumped it off to RJ, who was flying down the left wing, waiting to get the pass and go to the basket. But still, I mean, like he took a lot of good threes. He took a really good balance of those. That's been one of the conversations that I wanted to bring forth with Darko at practice earlier this week, asking about the fact that since Scottie's come back from the injury, he's averaged around 7 threes attempts per game. Are you good with that number? And he's like, I'm not comfortable with that number. I want it to be even higher. There was a game that he shot 12 threes and went 2 of 12, and he said he liked all those looks. So clearly they're looking to like both emphasize and develop the three. But at the same time, there was a great balance between how Scottie was going. You saw some mid-range attempts that Scottie was able to make, some really contested ones too. Early in the game, the Pacers tried to put Andrew Nembhard on Scottie Barnes. And Andrew is actually a pretty good defender. Andrew's a guy who the Pacers typically put on the opposing, like like when they play Boston, he's on like Jaylen Brown, for example. Like he's kind of like one of their stoppers. I mean, for one of their stoppers, I think Scottie just stomped all over him. Like literally took him down to the basket over and over again. And not like the post ups where he's clearing it out and someone's got to get him the ball. Scottie taking himself into that own initiative to go into the paint and do it. And it was just bully ball all night, man. I mean, I think for other teams, I think honestly, the next time the Pacers play the Raptors, they'll probably see them try to double team Scottie Barnes, try to like give him, blitzes, not even let him go downhill, maybe play a little zone, although they did play some zone tonight. And I got to say, the Raptors passing and overall shooting this season, I don't think that teams really should be zoning that much against the Raptors. They're already a really good passing team, and they know how to sort of pick those zones apart. Pacers went to zone for like maybe 2-3 minutes tonight. Didn't really make a difference in the first half. Kind of just like a change of pace look. And but yeah, Scottie just tonight, man. I mean, led on both ends. And then of course, it's not just enough to like have a good game over the balance of the game. It's also about what you do in the fourth quarter that really, really makes a difference. And there were some huge plays by Scottie Barnes, including one to force a timeout where he got the pick and roll from Jakob on the side of the I think right side of the floor, rejected the screen and went downhill. Jakob read the play, knew what Scottie wanted to do. Then he rolled, which effectively sealed off the help defender there. And then Scottie was able to get to around 8 to 10 feet around the basket and then go for like a banker off the glass. Really, really smooth move. Another play that you saw Scottie make today where, he was attacking off the high screen and went for a spin move to start his drive to elude his man, then get downhill and create opportunities. I think that led to a foul for one of his teammates after the pass. But like, I just thought the chemistry overall from those two were really good. Scottie with a late block as well on TJ McConnell, which I just very much enjoyed because TJ was just frustrating the hell out of the Raptors in the fourth quarter. I think he had like 13 in the fourth or 11 in the fourth quarter. It's been really, really tough seeing just him cook the Raptors year after year. It's actually genuinely one of the most annoying things possible. Yeah, I mean, I just thought the leadership overall from Scottie was excellent. And yeah, again, like you compare that effort from Scottie, which was the entire game, versus that effort from Halliburton, which was pretty much just in the third quarter. He turned it on. It looked cool for a little bit. And then where was he in the fourth quarter? Where was he in the first half? It's the star player on the road trying to lead a team in a funk. You know what I mean? You only play one of the 4 quarters. That's not going to be enough. As flashy as that quarter looked, and it was like, oh, I'm going to cross over Jakob. Oh, I'm going to hit a couple of threes. I'm going to point at the bench and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's fine. He had a good game. This is actually his best game on the road all season. Still lost. It still wasn't the best player in the game. That was Scottie Barnes. So I actually, what I was saying before I got rudely disconnected by one of the worst service providers possible. But like, yeah, you also saw Darko making some big moves and Darko getting Scottie out the game for 2-3 minutes there. In the fourth quarter when it was like a 1-2-3 possession game, a very, very like ballsy move, but also very responsible move because it got Scottie to be refreshed coming down and coming back into the game and closing it out really, really strong. That was really good. I like that from Darko. Number 2, what I like from Darko, I thought honestly in a game like this when Jakob was getting hunted a lot on these pick and rolls, whether that was pick and pops to Miles Turner, whether that was one-on, attacking, when the Raptors had to switch sometimes to contain Halliburton roasting him one-on-one off the dribble or like sort of having him defend in space. I honestly thought, especially with the way this game was going and the way that the Pacers were eating into the Raptors lead, I thought that the Raptors would legitimately try to close small, maybe for the first time all season, but just close small with like all wings. And that way you can switch a little bit, you can contain a little bit better. I actually like the fact that Darko resisted that. He went back to Jakob, trusted it. Now, there were a couple of moments that it looked a little dicey, like there was a pick and pop for Miles Turner, which, the ball, like, toilet bowled around the basket and rimmed out, but that was pretty close to a 3, which would have changed a lot over the balance of the game. But ultimately, Jakob being able to sort of like use that screen to like create space for Scottie to get downhill, create space for RJ to get downhill, and then of course be that outlet where when he's diving and other guys are driving, being able to find Jakob and Jakob being able to sort of finish and get fouled. And honestly, shouts to Jakob. Obviously, we know one-handed free throw shooter is not going to be that ultimately that accurate down the stretch, but he steps to the line and makes 2 in a very, very big moment for the Toronto Raptors. So even that decision, because I thought Mobo actually was playing really well, and there was a chance maybe to close small with Mobo at center, but no, he turns back to Jakob, and Jakob made a couple big contributions in the fourth quarter there, and just enough. And again, these matchups will be tough with them. Pacers spacing it out, all these guards, and then a spacing 5, like it's just difficult. But at the same time, I thought Jakob did a great job, and it really helps with their rebounding as well. Raptors once again did a good job on the defensive glass down the stretch there. Overall, I think the Pacers got 9 offensive rebounds. That's a very manageable number, especially for a team that shoots a lot of perimeter shots and that leads to some longer rebounds. And then the third thing I really liked from Darko was once again turning to Davion Mitchell to close the game. Yes, Jacoby Walter is the starter right now, and Jacoby I thought played fine. He just didn't make his shots tonight. A couple of moments where I thought he, could have picked his finish a little bit better. And of course, it doesn't help when you have Miles Turner, a really prolific shot blocker at the basket. And so he blocked a shot a couple of times. So obviously, like Jacoby's one of your starters, and that's typically what mean he closes out the game. But in a game like this, you clearly need Davion's defense in these key moments. And honestly, you need Davion's offense in some of these key moments. I'm not expecting Davion to like be Kyrie down the stretch, or like even be Tyrese Halliburton down the stretch. You know what I mean? But like a couple of moments where he wins you those possessions. That's your point guard. That's somebody you should trust the most. That's somebody you should really trust to guard the ball, to create a play when things get broken down. And that's exactly what Davion did. Davion with that little broken play, and then drove in for a sneaky layup and finished with a finger roll off the glass from like 5 feet out over top of Turner. That's a tough shot that he made. And that the Raptors really needed those baskets when the lead was, again, really, really cutting it down. That was an impressive finish. And then the moving screen to eat that. All those things take the energy out of your opponent and just give you a little bit more assurance on the offensive end coming back the other way. I thought, just closing it out with him, clearly needed him on Halliburton. The big thing with Halliburton is, him and Turner have this crazy good chemistry, and they have a really tricky plays where they, pitch it back and forth to each other on the perimeter. They run those pick and rolls. It's just a lot of screening, a lot of having to stick with Halliburton. Halliburton's really crafty. He's looking for the switch. He's looking for the, a moment of indecision, and he's going downhill or he's shooting that three. Like, those are the things that he does really well. But I thought Mitchell did a great job just sticking it tighter and just making it a little bit closer on the defensive end with him. So those 3 decisions I thought in the fourth quarter was really big. And then, in terms of coming out of the timeout, Darko took a timeout around, I think 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter. He had like 3 timeouts. That was his third. That was his one of the 3 timeouts. He had 2 after that. Coming out of that timeout, the Raptors organized a really good play for RJ Barrett to come off a dribble handoff, curling to the basket with the head of steam. Dribble handoff from Jakob to create the separation from his own man, and then going to his left hand, beating Miles Turner downhill, going to the basket. Number one, that was really good because outside of one big block that Turner had in the fourth quarter, RJ was beating Turner to the basket all game. And Turner is certainly somebody who can really block shots, and he had some big ones tonight. But on the whole, I thought RJ got the better of him as a shot blocker. I thought, he was just able to sort of elongate his steps, figure out ways to sort of score. But coming out the timeout when the Raptors really needed something, and Scottie, I think, was on the bench at this point, to come out of that with a play with RJ going downhill to the basket with a head of steam with his left hand, that's about as ideal of a play as you can draw up in that scenario. So good on the team for executing, but good on Darko for all those things. I think managing down the stretch there was really, really key. And then, of course, on the other end, it's just like you have some brilliant individual performances. Scottie was awesome, but so was RJ. RJ tonight, perfect sort of second option to what Scottie was doing. First off, Scottie's assertiveness. If I can get this every game, I mean, if we could get this every game, like this would be so perfect for the team. This is exactly what people are hoping for. I think Scottie, since coming back from the injury, has just been in a great rhythm. He's been in such a great mood as well. You could hear him all the time talking and clapping and directing the team after the win, big chest bumps for his teammates, like just owning the fact that he's the leader of this group and sort of taking on that personality for the team. But of course, it's also great when the leader can play this aggressive all game. And aggressive is looking to score and looking to dominate. And honestly, the physicality tonight, guys were just bumping off of him. You know what I mean? He was just crashing into the lane. Honestly, a little Giannis-esque, a little LeBron-esque, where guys were just bouncing off of him and they couldn't really contain him and limit him from getting to his spots. That was beautiful. And then, of course, RJ sort of riding shotgun alongside of him. The two of them play really well in transition, but the two of them also can sort of split up a little bit and lead their respective units. That was really big. Part of what made the Raptors really difficult to hold leads was especially when first off, RJ was having to play 40 minutes sometimes. Some of those were overtime games, but when it was just RJ leading the group and it was him and Grady, that doesn't have quite the same effect. Grady's a good option to have as a finisher, but he's not a play creator, right? And then so it kind of meant that RJ would have to be overextended. Now that you have the two of them together, they can sort of balance it out. But also RJ tonight just picked the right moments to get downhill, to make the right passes. I still think there's maybe a couple moments where the passes are just a little bit too sloppy, but ultimately, like, what can you nitpick about a guy who keeps giving you 30 at home? 29 points for RJ Barrett, ultra efficient, 9 of 16, knocks down 2 threes. I think that was both in the first half. 9 of 12 going to the foul line, just continuously putting pressure. And then the moments where this is where you really need a shot creator. When you're one-on-one, when it's late shot clock, something's got to happen. The Pacers took away the first and second option for the Raptors on that play. So what do? RJ having to create from those positions. And I thought he picked his moments really well. It seemed like Benedict Mathurin really did not know how to handle a guy going physical and driving him to the basket. And he kept bailing the Raptors out with these foul calls in terms of just like hacking RJ on these drives. I think, honestly, for me, that's lazy defense. And second of all, that's great recognition from RJ to recognize that, like, okay, that's what Benedict does. I can attack him late clock. A couple times he got him with those type of plays. But the fearlessness to go downhill all the time against a shot blocker too for RJ was really great. And then, making some key free throws down the stretch as well for RJ, going to the basket, narrowly missing the fact that he could have gotten his 7th 30-point game already this season. 7th, man. And he missed some time to start the year too. Like, that is really, really impressive what RJ Barrett's been doing. And just seeing that sort of like balance between the two of those guys, starting to call them B&B Enterprises, man. We got a new Bell in Barksdale. Although the only person with new Bell is going to be me after tonight's internet disruption. So, yeah, man, just a really good performance overall. And of course, I forgot to remind you, but like, leave your questions in the chat. Producer Alex, who's already bailed me out once today on the episode, he will be coming in and helping me, take some of these questions after the break that we always do. So leave those in the chat. And of course, if you're enjoying this game, if you're enjoying this live recap that we do after every game, hit the like on the stream. Make sure that YouTube knows that Raptor fans are excited and Raptor fans are looking for, just Raptors content, man. I was going to say quality Raptors content. It feels like gassing myself too much. If you think it's quality, just hit the like button. Seriously. Yeah, and then I think the other thing too is just like, for me, even though this game was really good, I still want to highlight a couple of things that could have been better. Number one, I think and I just go by player in terms of like a couple of things I noticed. Number one, I liked what Jakobi did offensively. I liked the fact that, the one basket he made, he actually came off a pick and roll and he drove Halliburton all the way to the basket and then finished over the top of him. I mean, it's like, again, if you're going to be the leader of the team, man, you got to be able to guard a rookie. No offense to Jakobi, but like, you're now making a supermax now for Indiana, and this whole organization is built around you. I'm gonna need you to stop Jacoby Walter. You know what I mean? Like, stuff like that for Halliburton. You could tell he's only interested in doing the offensive stuff. It's just immature, honestly, as a leader. It sets a bad tone for the whole team. You see how sloppy the Pacers are defensively. But a couple other plays where Jacoby was able to sort of come off the pick and roll or just make a play off the dribble a little bit. Because like, it's not the same. You notice with Grady, like, he's catching and shooting, or he's catching and like, taking 2 hard dribbles and getting to a spot and pulling up or whatever. Like, it's not like that, right? Jacoby likes to use the dribble a little bit, but he's got that maturity. He's got that ability to sort of play and get into your body a little bit, take a little bit of contact. You know what I mean? But tonight, I thought there was 2 plays where he was going to the basket where both times he should have tried to go with his left. And I think he tried instead to come back to his right or sort of fade away for the jumper. I think, honestly, if you just went a little bit stronger with the left, I think both times those could have been finished. So I think for him, just recognizing like a couple of different ways to be able to finish, especially if he's going to play physical, he's going to have to sort of obviously be a little bit more creative with some of his finishes, but also be able to use both hands, especially if he's going to take a lot of contact and try to drive the ball. But in general, I actually like the reads. He just didn't get those to convert tonight. 3 from 3, but those threes were all pretty good. I thought, honestly, for me, Chris Boucher just needed to play a lot more focus today. The one play that I really liked from Chris was when the ball swung over to him. I think Scottie found him open on the perimeter. Chris had a chance to shoot the 3, pump faked it. The Pacers, I think, flew out at him because they're like, of course, Chris is going to shoot it. And then instead, he put it on the floor, I think maybe just one dribble, and then big Euro step, and then flipped a finish at the basket. That was pretty big. That was towards the end of the third quarter, where, again, the Pacers are really huffing and puffing and, cutting into the lead. But Chris, I think the last couple of games has not come in and giving you that type of focused effort, right? Tonight, I thought he just took a couple too many rush threes. Of course, the second unit does need some more offense, so I don't mind him taking the threes, but some of these are rushed. And I think more than anything else, when you miss the 3, it's also like, can you get back on defense? There's plays where, Obi Toppin getting wide open corner threes because Chris wasn't back, or Obi Toppin getting a run out dunk because Chris wasn't back and throwing the hands up. It's just like, honestly, the focus for that team is just like, Chris is like older than Jakob. You know what I mean? He's older than like pretty much everybody that's in the rotation right now. Yeah, is he the oldest guy in the rotation? Yeah, he's the oldest guy in the rotation right now. But like, you know what I mean? Like there's a responsibility that comes with that. You know what I mean? Like, of course, there's like great moments that Chris can provide, but I just think the last couple of games for Chris, like the focus hasn't been great for him coming into the second unit here. And I think the second unit could really use it because of the fact that there's a lot of young guys. And sometimes you can expect one good shift from Jamal Shed. Jamal Shed, 10 minutes tonight, +8. The first half was great. Second half comes in, commits a couple of bad fouls, and it's like, okay, we're starting to flip to the other side. Mobo, as much as he can be energetic and strip the ball and sort of push it on the break, he's not necessarily going to look to score all that much. So, of course, you're going to need a little bit more offense. But, I just think that, like, yeah, I would have loved to see a little bit better for Jakobi, a little bit better from Chris. Jameson just didn't really get open all that much. To be honest, the Raptors were getting really, really good looks driving the ball. So even the kickouts weren't there as much for him. And he's obviously a guy that needs to thrive on those. And then Mobo, I thought Mobo played really well, man. Mobo, 3 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 steals. I love the fact that he went toe to toe with Jarris Walker and just stripped him a bunch. Like Jarris Walker, 0-5 in 26 minutes. You know what I mean? Not a very promising performance for him. Not even trying to slander, but like he really dominated that matchup. And that's important. I know no one comes into this game looking for the Mobo Walker matchup, but like winning those matchups, winning your individual matchups is huge coming off the bench. And I thought that, him finishing on the break and transition, I honestly I love the fact that he took 2 threes as well. He's certainly practicing those again from the corners and also from the wing. So you might as well try to take them. Obviously the results are going to be inconsistent. He's certainly like a ways away with this 3-point shooting, but I think overall the reads were good and the energy was good. And again, like more than anything else, it was also about the starters. And the starters played great for you, man. You got great games from Scottie, great game from RJ, great game from Jakob. Ochai played his role really well too. Although I think for Ochai, actually that's the other thing I was going to say, last thing before the break. Ochai, you know what? I think with Ochai, I would just love for him to get a little bit closer on defense. I think Ochai does a good job of sort of like keeping his man in front and using his length to challenge, and he doesn't really foul too much, which I think is obviously a good thing. But like, I would love for Ochai to get a little bit tighter where he's like almost like chest to chest with his guy a little bit more. And of course, that's a different style of defense, but I just feel like he does, for me, he lets the offensive player dictate a little bit too much. And I think as a defensive player, like there's moments where you see once, like obviously Scottie's, a superhuman, so it's a little bit different, but like Scottie's able to like chest up and bump and like deny Pascal from all of his spots and then frustrate him over the course of the game. You know what I mean? Or even Jamal Shed or Davion Mitchell, like these guys like, jump into the screens, eat the moving screen, or like they really dig into the ball. And you see a lot of times where Davion's probably best attribute is when he puts his strong chest into the driver and doesn't allow him to turn the corner and get into the paint in the first place. And sometimes that forces a reset. Sometimes it forces another screen, whatever, there's that. Ochai, I think for me, does a great job of contesting, and he contests pretty much every shot that he's guarding. But I feel like if he just plays a little bit tighter, uses his chest and it's a little bit more physical, guys won't turn the corner a little bit too much. Like TJ McConnell, part of the reason he got off against the Raptors tonight is because Ochai didn't really know how to take away the space from him. And I think for me, it's just like, even when you think to like that Jaden Ivey game winner, it's like, okay, that, switched on to him and you're fine with it. But like, if you don't chest him up, then he's probably going to be able to get downhill to his spots. And yes, you can close out and you can contest, but NBA players are so good that if they get to their spots, they can finish even over contested, whatever. So ultimately, yeah, I think we'll just want to see Ochai get a little bit tighter on defense, but yeah, just a really good effort, man. Just a really good effort. And this was a really fun one. So we're going to take a quick break here. We're going to hear from one of our beloved sponsors. And when we come back, we're going to take your questions.
Hey, man.
Hey, buddy.
Just recently hit the big 4-0. What about you, bro?
A little more recently 4-0, but we are both in the 40 club.
Let me tell you, man, being an adult really comes with its share of challenges.
Definitely. I think both you and I are homeowners, and I think we're both also dealing with mortgages in life.
Yeah, man. Mortgage rates, choosing the right terms, dealing with paperwork. It can be really overwhelming,
I still don't know how that works.
Well, listen, that's where our friends at Dominion Lending Centers come in, man. They make the whole process simple and stress-free. Whether you're renewing your mortgage, hunting for the best rates, or if you just need advice, they're here to help, bro.
You know what? I am looking for that advice, and I think that's why I'm going to visit www.dominionlending.ca.
Yeah, man. www.dominionlending.ca. Take the guesswork out of your mortgage and step into financial confidence with our friends at Dominion Lending by our side. Yo, what's up, everyone? Black Friday is here, man. And listen, if you've been waiting to grab some hello and welcome merch, now is the time. We've got the brand new Wongstradamus hoodie, plus all your favorite hats and tees that you've seen the three of us wear on the show, at events, that'll have you looking fresh for this holiday season. So whether you're treating yourself, gifting someone who deserves it, we've got you covered. And here's the deal. If you head to nationgear.ca right now, you'll get 15% off everything. And if you spend $200, we'll hook you up with free shipping because we're cool like that. So don't wait around. The deal is only good for 1 weekend. It ends this Friday, December 6th. Make sure you go to nationgear.ca now. Grab a hoodie, grab a hat, grab a tee, and get holiday ready. And as always, hello and welcome.
The savings. Wow. You could definitely tell that we have a fresh batch of ads, and big shouts to all our partners here on Hello and Welcome, the podcast. And now it is time for the Tangerine Fan Inbox. Tangerine is the official bank of the Toronto Raptors, foundational partner of WNBA Canada and NBA Canada. And of course, they're not just fans of basketball, they're fans of basketball. They're fans of fans who have their own nickname for each guy in the starting five, or fans who stand 5 inches from the TV all game, or fans who come on the live post-game shows, hit the likes in the comments, leave comments, leave questions. They're fans of people like you. And of course, if you're hearing this, there's definitely no doubting your commitment. Fans like you are at the heart of what makes this game great. So this year, for the Raptors' 30th season, Tangerine is turning the spotlight from the court to the stands and celebrating the way Raptor fans support their team, because this is how we fan. To learn more, visit tangerine.ca/basketball. Producer Alex Wong, get yourself up here, man. Let's get up here. What's the chat saying these days?
Yo, man, got a lot of great
Yo, you guys talking
questions.
Dragon Ball Z in here? What's going on?
Yeah,
man?
a lot of Dragon Ball Z stuff that we're gonna get to at the end of this Q&A segment.
All right.
Because producer Jerome's playing basketball right now, so we got 20
he's
minutes.
hooping right now. Yeah, he's hitting the TJ McConnell baseline pull up
20 minutes. But here's a first question that I'm gonna hit you with.
All right, this one from Kavan or Kevin Logan. How do you feel Darko and crew balance developing and winning games? Scottie, Yak, RJ, and Ochai with 36 minutes. I mean, I don't think the minutes is the biggest thing for me in terms of like the development. I think more than anything else, it's about sort of putting in a system that has defined roles for these guys and allowing these guys to sort of like play well within these roles. And I think that like Darko is obviously somebody that leads with a lot of positivity. And part of like him being so positive and so invested and even being so hands-on with the development is that that's the way that he tries to hold you accountable. It's like, if I show you this much love, then I want you to show me as much effort and sort of like deliverance on that sort of type of play. And I think more than anything else, you're seeing the empowerment of Scottie Barnes across the board in terms of giving him the ultimate green light. You're seeing, honestly, for me, the last like 2-3 weeks here, this is my favorite version of Scottie Barnes. Not just with his play, but it's also with his leadership, with how engaged he is, with how vocal he is. You could just tell he's all over your TV screen, and you could hear him all the time through the microphones. But like that engagement you're getting from Scottie is huge. And then RJ Barrett, putting him in the right context, right? Sort of like understanding that, you know what, obviously, when the Raptors were really banged up, he's probably going to be a guy who is going to be your first option. But of course, since coming back with Scottie, RJ settled in here, and you've seen his efficiency rise back up, knowing sort of how to sort of get him, these plays where he's curling and getting momentum going downhill to the basket. That's always going to be a good thing for RJ Barrett. And then Jakob, Jakob's also always been a solid player. Like, development with Jakob, maybe there's some of that. He certainly talked about how he wants Jakob to be more aggressive and dunk the ball more. I think Jakob's got like maybe 10 dunks on the season. But ultimately, I think it's just about sort of like developing a good system for these guys. And guys are clearly taking to it. Ochai's playing well. Grady, before he got injured, was playing super great. Seems like he's going to be close and come back later this week. But man, good job by the coaching staff.
Great answer, Will. Your internet's doing great. Yeah, with the Grady Dick thing too, there's a lot of people asking about just updates on Grady, and also here this question about IQ and Kelly as well. So just wondering, because I know you you're present at practice. You know, you're
Mm.
around the team. Any updates for people in the stream?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Today I had kind of like a splitting headache, so I didn't go down to didn't make my usual run of going down before the game and leaving at halftime to come home to do the rack pod. But yeah, I believe the last update we got with IQ, I did see him sort of practicing on his own. He had like I guess a shooting sleeve on the left arm with a protective pad. He wasn't going through practice or anything like that. I think Darko said that he probably will be a little bit more away. I don't think he's like imminently close. Um, KO Kelly Olynyk, he was getting shots up after practice. This was Tuesday's practice. No, this is Monday's practice. Yesterday. Yeah, he was getting shots up after practice, but you know, we'll see. I think he probably, if I had to guess, he's probably closer than IQ. Bruce continues to be doing reconditioning stints. So what I saw at practice was him like doing Mikan drills and just trying to make 10 layups in a row, which was surprisingly
not
difficult.
George Mikan.
And then Grady's just been going through practice, you know, and also shooting drills and stuff like that. So I feel like Grady's gonna be the closest, then Bruce, then Kelly, then IQ.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Here we go.
Next up.
Howard Young, is there a pizza party for 3-win streak? Did we are the Raptors on a 3-game win streak?
No, Raptors are approaching a 3-game win streak. So if they beat
OKC
on Thursday, then there might be, you know, maybe stay away from Young Dundas Thursday night if the Raptors beat the Thunder.
Wow. I mean, honestly, the hype will be crazy if the Raptors beat the Thunder. I mean, I don't think that the Raptors
What are you talking about?
You don't think so? You
No.
don't think fans will be back?
I mean, I think it'd be a great win.
Season?
It'd definitely be the win of the year, but
Yeah.
man, can we please have some standards?
I think if I had to guess, I think that so the pizza party thing became like a bit of a meme because I think Darko kind of like, I think Pascal let it slide that like Darko was offering to take the team out for dinner once they won 3 games in a row, and of course it took the team a hilariously long time to cash in on that. I think Pascal was already traded.
Yeah.
By the time that this thing happened. I think Pascal the Raptors beat the Pacers once last year, maybe.
Yeah.
I think he's actually might have.
Darko's like, I will not call you out, but I will get you but I will take you out.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's what he said last year.
So it took a very long time. I think it took till like February or March in that range for the Raptors to finally win 3 straight. And I think I became a meme on Raptors Twitter of like it becoming a pizza party. I don't think he explicitly said that they're going to take him out for pizza. I think he was like, we're going to take him out for a better dinner than this. Yeah.
I actually heard people from like, I guess the organization were not happy.
Oh, sources
was telling Wong last year that, like it somehow just got spun into a pizza party narrative, right? And
right.
A lot of the fans ran with it too.
Yeah.
Media people as well. Like every time the Raptors won 2 in a row, which wasn't very often, like it became like a thing. And I think it just became this kind of, I guess, like more embarrassing thing because it's like, oh, why is an NBA head coach talking about having a pizza party? But
yeah, the funniest thing was because like we started in the media started mentioning it too. I remember mentioning it on the Raptors show last year, for example. And after the Raptors did win 3 straight, the Raptors PR staff actually brought in pizzas. I think it was from Blondie's.
Oh, nice.
And they were like, "Here you go. Now the joke can be over." So yeah, I don't think they're gonna do pizza parties again. But I mean,
you got a little hookup off north of Brooklyn.
Last year that was actually the best part, man.
Yeah.
Big shouts to
north of Brooklyn. They also provided us catering at the Hello and Welcome launch party that we had.
That's right. Yeah.
Over the summer.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
Although I've been trying to walk in. I've been trying to walk into North of Brooklyn's downtown and be like, "Hey, I know Will." And they're like, "Okay."
They're like, just tap the credit card, man.
So can I please get a direct contact to North of Brooklyn? I'm happy to continue sponsoring my friends at Fresca in college, but you know.
Nah. The North of Brooklyn slice is genuinely one of the best slices in the city. You got to especially go actually have the slice in the store too, fresh out the oven. That vodka verde slice is insane. It's so good.
Because we went a few times to the Geary location too, right?
That's right. That's right.
we had a great time there as well. Okay, let's see
Let's go some more
what else.
questions.
We got some money coming in, man. So
Ooh, 25.
yeah,
Oh man,
thanks to Josh, man. Shout out Josh.
this guy paid my internet bill finally.
Yeah, you're gonna need more than that, man.
Josh says, love the show, guys. Which Raptors under 24 has the most potential in your opinion? I think this is pretty obvious. I think it's got to be Scottie. I mean, Scottie's 23, I think, right now.
Yeah, 23. But
bro,
maybe,
when you watch a game like
yeah.
this from Scottie, don't you feel like it's like, okay, like if
Yeah,
he does this on a consistent basis, like we are so good. We are so back if Scottie does this on a consistent basis, man.
Well, one of the things I wanted to see from Scottie coming back from injury was just like him to lift up the energy level of the rest of the team.
Yeah.
Because the energy level of the team was really good with Scottie out. And, you know, I think tonight was a perfect example of what it looks like when everybody's energy level is kind of at that peak. And they just kind of, for stints of the game, just kind of ran the Pacers out of the gym. I mean, the Pacers are terrible. We'll talk about them after, but
whatever.
But I think, I mean, for $25, we got to at least give a variation of this question too. So
okay,
I think Scottie obvious choice.
Right? All right, rank them then.
So no. Chill.
Okay.
Scotty's the obvious choice, but if not Scottie, is there someone else? Even like from the rookie class, I feel like people talk about this a lot. It's like long term, if you wanted to bet on one guy from this rookie class that the Raptors have drafted from.
Well,
like
from this specific rookie class?
Yeah, from this specific rookie class.
I think I'll still go with Jakob. I think, like, as much as, like, Ochai right now, obviously, he's contributing more offensively, I can already see, like, easily Jakob getting a higher offensive ceiling than Ochai.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, the playmaking off the dribble, I think, is, like, really tantalizing for me. Obviously, he's got to get the three-point shot more consistent. Even, again, going back to the warm-up report, it's not that consistent right now. He's not dead-eye. Kind of reminds me, honestly, Grady last year. Like, when I was watching warm-up, I'm like, you know, like, it's not fully there yet, whether he's adjusting to the range or whatever. But I think especially if he takes the same trajectory as Grady does, like I think, you know, Jacoby's gonna be a really, really exciting player for me. But that's probably who I'd pick out of this rookie class. But I mean, the second best prospect on the Raptors too. I mean, I guess we don't call him a prospect anymore because RJ's played like 5 seasons. But like again, look at what RJ's doing, man. Like it's a real talent for him to go downhill like that. If you didn't listen to our last episode where me and Alex handed out the NBA quarter season awards, we talked a lot about the Raps in that one. And I kept dropping the stat that like RJ was third in the NBA in terms of attempts at the rim this season, which is like super, super impressive for a guard. So it's like AD, and I think maybe who else was it? AD, someone else. Oh, Giannis. Giannis was number one with like 13 a game. But like RJ's right there with like 8 a game. It's super impressive.
Yeah, no, he's been a monster, especially at home. Shouts to Industrial Guy.
Oh, more money in the chat. Let's go.
So,
what do we get here? Let's go. W's in the chat for Alex, Will, and Juntao. Thanks for always putting out great content. Appreciate you guys, man. Seriously, honestly, I think the coolest part about doing this, and I keep saying this, but I know it's just Thanksgiving and at least over in the States. And yeah, I mean, like what I'm most thankful for is the fact that like we've had an audience that's been able to follow and continue to support. Obviously, we changed platforms. Decided to go on our own, and of course, like we've gotten a huge support here from the Nation Network, but we've also gotten a huge support here from all our sponsors. You know, shouts to Tangerine stepping in here, and Tangerine really does sponsor so much basketball stuff in this country. But you know, they are genuinely like, this is not even an ad read. This is just like observing and noticing. Like they're all over the place when you're talking about hoops in Canada. Betway stepped in, you know, day one as a sponsor of this program, and they've been great to work with as well. And then of course Coors Light came in and out. Hopefully we'll see you again. Coors Light, Dominion Lending, Greta Bar, YYZ, you know, partnering with local restaurants here, you know, north of Brooklyn, Bear Steak, you know what I mean, Left Field Brewery. Like we just gotten a lot of love is my point. And it's from everybody really, man. It's
just
great.
Like every day in the city too. Like this morning I was at Made Right Coffee, meeting Jerome for a breakfast sandwich.
Oh, where do you guys hang out without me?
Yeah, all the time.
Damn.
Man. Yeah.
Okay.
What? Aren't you talking ball with Samson in the morning?
Okay. Wow.
I love how this is
jealousy's
a developing
crazy,
storyline,
bro.
No, but like, shouts to David, a listener who like came up and just said that, hey, like, love what you guys are doing. Like he worked at the hospital, you know, across from the street. From where the coffee shop was, and was just super kind to like just say those kind of things. So Yeah, saw someone in the chat say you need to get Jack and Leo for an interview. We're scheduled to have Jack join us next week.
Hello,
and I'm sure
and
we
welcome.
can get Leo to join us sometime soon as well. But
Yeah.
let's see what else.
Damn, bro,
is
people
there
giving us real money, man.
in the chat. Here's another
Oh,
one.
what is this, bro?
Yeah.
What is SGD?
I honestly think
is
what
that
happens
Singapore
tonight.
dollar?
What happened
What
tonight, and then
what currency is that?
maybe we can do it more going forward. Is like people actually felt bad about your internet.
Oh,
Because
really?
like once your
Oh, we're
internet came
crowdfunding
up,
my internet?
no, like people just felt bad. I feel like once your internet cut out, and they were
Okay,
just like,
okay.
"Man, please, just like take care of yourself." It's like when like your parents
Oh,
see that
word?
you're like think you're struggling and stuff, and they'll just like slip you like a red pocket. Wait,
Oh,
this was
yeah?
just me? Yeah.
That's generational wealth talk right there. Because my parents were
Yeah.
like, pull up those bootstraps, son.
Yeah, but shouts to Thomas. Greetings from Singapore.
Big
He
shouts to
says,
people
"Can't wait
from
to see how
Singapore,
the
man.
team will play at full strength." Yeah, I think everybody's excited about seeing
Yo.
the team get on full strength. We got a lot of questions in the chat too, just about like, hey, when this guy comes back, who should go to the
Yeah.
bench? All of this stuff. Those would be great problems for the Raptors, man. Every time I watch a Raptors game, I see like 4 competent NBA guys in street clothes on the bench.
Yeah, man.
So
I think honestly, like, I would love for this not to be a lost season for IQ because I think he's a big part of this, and I want to see how he fits in with these guys. You know what I mean? And like, Kelly, whether he's here long term or not, you know what I mean? Like, I want to see him at least on the court. I thought he was real promising in training camp and stuff like that too. So, but I mean, that's the nature of the season. Guys are going to come in and out. But it's actually nice to have playable depth too, because again, last year it was like as soon as guys started going out, it was like, man, here's Jordan War again.
No, brother. Yeah, what happened to him? Let's revisit the Pascal trade. Here's a couple more, and then we can get to the Dragon Ball Z stuff.
All right, let's go. Next one. With Jamal Shed hitting more of his threes, what else does he need to do to get more minutes? I mean, I think more than anything else, like it's just difficult, right? He comes into this game into this season as a third string point guard. From his perspective, IQ's been out for the whole year, so he's been bumped up to sort of backup point guard. But since Scottie's come back, he's basically the third string point guard again because the Raptors are starting with no point guard in the starting lineup, and then Davion's sort of like the preferred option. Davion is a better option than him right now. He's just a little bit more assured in terms of just like he doesn't gamble as much. I thought Jamal just like committed a couple extra fouls that he didn't need to, which is a common theme. But I think he's already doing pretty good. I mean, the 3-point shooting is coming around for sure. Again, warm-up report, watching him. That's actually cool. The Raptors, this is like crazy. You got to go super early. And I don't think they probably won't even let you into Scotiabank Arena unless you have a special pass. But like if you go 2.5 hours before tip-off, so like tonight will be like 5 p.m., you will see the Raptors rookies as a group warming up together, and they don't just do the regular warm-up drills where they're kind of just catching and shooting and then practicing a couple of one of their favorite shots. The Raptors rookies actually all warm up together, and so they'll run drills against the Raptors like assistant coaches, where it's like a read, where it's like a 3-man sort of drill where like somebody will get a dribble handoff at the top, and then the coaches will defend them in different scenarios, whether that's a blitz or a drop or a switch or whatever. And they got to make reads and essentially just play 3-on-3 against these coaches over and over again to warm up. And like a couple of the reads are pretty systematic, right? There's obviously a corner shooter. There's obviously, someone cutting to the basket and someone with the ball going downhill. But anyway, these drills, like you see, like Jamal's hitting a lot more of these threes than I remember to start the season. So whether that's sort of in-season development, whether he's just in a good rhythm right now, like he's actually shooting the three pretty decently, and I'm happy that's translating over to the on-court stuff. How much content can one man get from watching warm-ups, man? This is nuts.
Yeah, I mean, you're like setting the Guinness Book of Records for most content.
We talk about practice. We don't even talk about practice. We talk about the warm-up before practice, man.
I do love how professional athletes, like, and obviously I get it, they have to warm up, but imagine like any other like work scenario where you show up to work and you have to warm up.
Yo, I gotta warm up on the pod.
You gotta
warm up on the mic.
But it's like you gotta get some reps in when you go to the office before you get going. Like, what's going on, man? All right, yeah. Those are really the main questions. Really appreciate everybody for sending them in. Is Scholar Barnes a new nickname for Scottie? I saw a couple people say that because he got his.
I guess he's got the glasses.
Yeah, I saw it.
They kind of look like reading glasses.
Yeah. So W's in the chat for that.
The W's in the chat.
So yeah, Dragon Ball comparisons were coming out. So just gonna pop in a bunch of these really good ones from the chat. First one, Garrett Temple is Master Roshi. Yeah.
Oh,
Hopefully
yeah,
the training part and not the other part where his nose is bleeding all the time.
Oh, I thought you meant the other part where he's just criminally horny, but okay.
Yeah, I mean that's why his nose bleeds. You know, in anime, that's the sign for it.
No.
Anyways,
Garrett Temple's a
Master Roshi's a
solid
good
dude. This guy's married to Miss Universe, a Miss Universe winner, man. Shouts to Garrett Temple, most solid dude around. And yeah, Master Roshi with the training for sure. Yeah, that's it.
I like that one. Next one, Chris Boucher is Tien. Cause like I like this one because like it's like you can bring Tien to like certain battles, certain like world martial arts tournaments, and like he's gonna step up. Like he's a role player. Like he's a role player, and Tien.
Yeah, there's certain roles that you need. Yeah,
Tien amongst the Z fighters, he's a role player. So,
yeah,
I like that one. You with that one? Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, my Dragon Ball Z knowledge is not that deep.
Okay,
I know the Scottie report on Tien. Go ahead. Go ahead. Okay, Yamcha. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I'm back.
Shed is Yamcha. Again, just like kind of a developing role, getting into it right now.
Yeah. Okay. I like this
one. I like. They said Bruno is Hercule, who's better known as Mr. Satan. So if you don't know, Mr. Satan is like the best human fighter in the Dragon Ball universe, but obviously going up against like the Z fighters and all the other people, like he's pure trash. Like he showed up to like the Perfect Cell tournament and basically got wiped out.
This guy just said Bruno's pure trash, but through a Dragon Ball Z analogy. Come on, man.
But Mr. Satan also accidentally saves the world in the story.
Gotcha.
And Bruno fits into that because he could accidentally help the Raptors get the highest lottery odds. So he could be the Mr. Satan of getting the Raptors into the top of the lottery.
All right.
So,
what else you got here?
Yeah, RJ is playing.
Oh, hell yeah!
Super Saiyan 2 Gohan against Cell. Famously, this was when Android 16 was smashed to bits, and that was the final straw for Gohan to finally go Super Saiyan. So
yeah,
I guess this would make Darko's post game chain the Sensu beam.
Yo, we cooking now. I like this.
We might be cooking.
Yo, that's crazy. Now RJ playing Kawhi was like Cell.
A little throwback. Yeah, Kawhi was Cell. He was just bored. Didn't have a lot of emotions, and was a threat to the rest of the world as a
Kawhi was Cell in that that Twitter video where Cell is in an Orlando Magic jersey and he's doing the NBA Slam Dunk contest for some reason.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That's not perfect Cell. Kawhi was perfect Cell. Yeah, I like it.
I think. And then this other one is really good too. The starting five for the Lakers are the Jinyu Force, and LeBron is Captain Jinyu. Bronny is Guido. First of all, I read Dragon Ball in.
Yo, these are crazy.
We named a character Guido in the English Dragon Ball.
Hey, man.
What are we doing, man? That's out of hand, man.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
I think that's.
I'm assuming Scottie's Goku in this one, but
Yeah. Goku. I guess RJ could be Vegeta, and then I actually don't know who IQ would be.
It's a little basic
situation. Let's see. Sorry, I'm just trying to find.
Jakob's Piccolo.
Actually, who would Jakob be, man? The little hairy shoulders.
The streets are saying turn up your mic, bro.
Oh, my bad, man. My mic is down again.
I don't know.
At least my internet's good.
Oh, okay. Well,
so before you give your awards and stuff, your 3 stars.
Okay.
Just want to let you know that right now on Betway, the Indiana Pacers over/under is adjusted to 41.5 wins. Pacers were not impressive tonight and have not been impressive so far this season. They're 9-13. They fall to 2-10 on the road after tonight's loss to the Raptors. So right now, the under for 41.5 wins for the Pacers is at 1.90 odd. Wanted to get your thoughts on where you think the Pacers might end up.
Yeah, Pacers, man, they did not look impressive. They've lost 3 straight here. After finally getting back to 500, for me, it just doesn't bode well for me that they're starting, their leader in Tyrese Halliburton is kind of like playing unserious half the time. It really makes it really difficult to invest in this team. It's also, they look a little bit confused. They don't really have the same pop, I feel like. overall. It feels like the whole league is playing at a faster pace. So like some of what they've done to be really effective in the past is kind of just like kind of canceled out in a way. I think their point differential is negative on the season too. They're basically, for the Pacers to be above 500, they got to be a top 5 offense. And right now, coming into this game, they were 14th in offense, and the defensive rating is 29 or 27, which is like pretty bad. So, I think before the season, we both took the Pacers over, but as of right now, based on what we're seeing, I'm going to need to see something more there. At the same time, though, we did see a pretty good effort from the Pacers in the third quarter where they turned up the defense and played with pace, and they got TJ McConnell in there, and guys were hitting threes. But, yeah, I don't know. As of right now, I'll probably go under as well.
All right, so make sure you hit the QR code at the bottom. Check out all your basketball betting odds on Betway. All right, I don't know if my mic's working, so I'm fading out now so you can wrap up the show, bro.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Appreciate it, man. Okay, we are getting back to the 3 stars here as I remove Alex from here. Big shouts to Alex for popping in and saving the stream as needed, and also taking all those questions. Big thanks to everyone for sending those questions in. Again, if you didn't already, please like the stream before I get to the 3 stars. Your 3 stars from tonight's performance. Number 1 stars for Scottie Barnes. This is probably my favorite game I've ever seen Scottie play, man. I love the effort, the intensity, the way he led the group. 35 points, 6 rebounds, 9 assists, 13 of 20 from the field. Great balance between going inside versus also hitting the 3 confidently as well. 3 of 7. I think he had one where he was a foot on the line too. So that should really be 4 of 8 for me. 6 of 8 from the foul line as well for Scottie. Defensively, like I said it before, like just the frustration. I mean, he just owned Pascal in this matchup, man. Like it was honestly, as a very, like, I love Pascal. So like seeing this happen to Pascal, I was like, damn, I almost feel bad for him. But at the same time, it's like, Scottie, no. This is like you know what? This is why it's my team now. And it was kind of that subtext, not in a mean way, just in like a, let me show it to you. And as a Raptor fan, let me tell you, I'm very, very thrilled with what I'm seeing from Scottie these days. It's certainly the best version of Scottie that we've seen so far. RJ is your 2nd star, just like he was in this game. 2nd best player in this game, 29 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists, going to the hoop over and over again, 9 of 16 from the field, 2 of 6 from 3, 9 of 12 from the free throw line. Some big moments where when Scottie had to sit, RJ had to sort of carry the offense a little bit, did a great job of doing that as well. And then your 3rd star, part of me wants to give this to Ochai for the big 3 in the corner. Part of me wants to give this to Davion for coming in and late in the game and making a couple of big plays, but it's got to be Jakob. He was objectively your 3rd best player tonight. 17 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists, a steal, 2 blocks. Thought he did a great job of protecting the rim. I thought the Raptors, when they built the big lead, it was because they owned the basket and they own the paint. Now, of course, in the second half, the Pacers really strung out Jakob, make him guard on the perimeter, make him guard pick and pops. He's not as good at doing that. But at the same time, it's like, you know what? He did win a couple of advantages, and those 2 free throws down the stretch there were pretty big for Jakob. He was very strong around the rim as well. So those are your 3 stars. Your Gerald Henderson Award winner, that is going to go to I don't want to give it to TJ. TJ had a really bad first half. So I'm not giving it to TJ. I'm going to give it to Obi Toppin. I thought Obi Toppin really beat his matchup. Again, when we're talking about individual matchups, I thought, Chris versus Obi, Obi did a great job tonight. 15 points, 9 rebounds, an assist, a block. He only played 14 minutes. I honestly thought that the Pacers probably, played him a little bit more down the stretch. But, of course, they do have Pascal and they do have Miles Turner. So you're not going to necessarily play a 3rd forward. But, yeah, he did a great job, and he was a big part of the Pacers making a comeback there. It's funny when you look at the plus minuses. He's a plus 17. Everyone else on his team is a minus, which, really goes to show that he was on the floor for the best parts of what Indiana was doing tonight. Your most important guy, I want to remind you that the most important guy award is brought to you by Greta Bar. So, all right, Toronto, listen up. If you're looking for the ultimate spot to watch the Raptors game and level up your night, you got to check out Greta on 590 King Street West. This place is next level. You think Mario Kart, Pop-A-Shot, all your classic arcade games that you love. But here's the thing, Greta's not just about the games. It's also the perfect spot for pregame, postgame, and even catching every bucket, dunk, and buzzer beater with you and your crew. Great food, cold drinks, a vibe that screams fun. Whether you're repping the Raptors or just wanting to crush your friends in Mario Kart, Greta is where it's at. So pull up to Greta, 590 King Street West, right there at King of Portland, and have a great time watching the game. So your most important guy for this game, oh man, that's really tough, man. Who is your most important guy? Honestly, man, most important guy is Alex Wong for jumping in here and holding down the React pod. I'm gonna have to find out what he actually said while I was struggling with my internet.
No, I refuse to accept I refused to accept the Meg. I came on here and didn't really say anything.
Oh,
Actually, took me a minute to realize that you were off because I wasn't listening to you.
why are you
And
wearing a
then
leather jacket in your house, by the way?
and then I looked up and the screen was off. So I think the Meg should go to Scottie Barnes's goggles because
Okay.
I feel like the goggles have been super
Wow.
helpful. And if you do his stats, his split pre goggles, post goggles, he's been playing really well with the goggles. Yeah.
Okay. Scottie Barnes' goggles. We've never had a most important guy reject the award, so very, very humble on Alex's part. But okay, let's do that. Again, I don't know why he's wearing a leather jacket in his own house. Yo, Alex, come on the stream again, man. Show people that sweater you're wearing too. Because don't forget, we got some new merch dropping too.
Oh, hey guys. Yeah, just wearing the Wongstradamus hoodie right now. So,
Ooh.
I don't know if you guys can see it.
Is that a picture of yourself on a sweater? Have you been wearing the sweater every day since we made it? Because
Yeah,
I've
I've been
seen you
wearing
in this
most
like
days.
6 times,
So
man.
make sure you go to nationgear.ca. We have a Black Friday promotion sale going on right now. So if you're looking for hats, tees, hoodies, anything like that for the holidays, for yourself or for others, come and support the merch.
Yo, speaking of support the
us.
merch, man. New
Yeah,
CCYA Mitchell and Ness collab. This is the Boba Raptor, but this time it's purple. It's taro, which is I think it's probably like the most iconic bubble tea flavor in my opinion. But yeah, you can get this hoodie right now for a limited time only.
Yeah,
And,
it's available Sunday at ccya.org. And if you go to Hello Welcome Pod on IG right now, we're doing a giveaway. So just find the post of Will and I talking about the hoodies that we posted today. So, yeah.
there you go.
Somebody did the Wonderwall lyrics in the chat. They're like, "You're gonna be the Meg that saves me." Yo, that's so good, man.
Yo, are you Noel or Liam Gallagher?
I'm both apparently because I paid to see both because I paid $1,000 to see both.
Oh, where?
Alex dressed like he's running back and forth from the porch to do bong rips. All right, I'm out of here, man.
It's not that far off. All right. Thanks everyone for listening. Huge thanks to everyone. Again, it's always a great vibe after these games. If you've enjoyed it, please just hit like on the comment, hit subscribe on the Raptors or on the I was gonna say Raptor show. Hit subscribe on the Hello and Welcome podcast. It'll get you a notification when we're going live after these games. So you don't always have to sort of catch the stream at the right time. Just let YouTube do the work for you. It'll hit you with a notification. And of course, if you're not watching these live after games, like it's a great time to just come through. The vibe, especially after wins, is really positive. People just getting to chat with people, other fans, obviously getting to sort of send in questions here. But more than anything else, just want to say a huge thank you to everyone for watching, for liking, subscribing to the #1 basketball pod in the country. And that's that. So thanks everyone for watching. This has been the Hello and Welcome podcast presented by Betway.